What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and you know I absolutely love when the internet comes together for a common cause. I really like when people just in general are able to set their differences to the side to come together for something that they strongly believe in. Because we live in a world, a society, a country that is way too divided. It seems like we cannot agree on anything anymore. We can never get on the same page. We are fighting over stupid stuff. We are allowing small things to divide us. There are simple things that we all should be able to agree upon, but for some reason we can't. Not only can we not agree upon these small things, we fight about it 24/7. So it feels great when people find something that they can all agree upon and come together for just a moment. Now, unfortunately, usually, it takes something very disturbing, disgusting, vile, and evil for people to come together and just all agree that that's bad. You know, whatever your political beliefs are, whatever your religion, it doesn't matter. We can all agree that this is bad. It always takes something just absolutely horrible and horrific for people to finally come together. And that is what is happening right now within the true crime community, and it's even branching out farther than that. I'm sure most of you all know this by now, but for those of you all who do not, there is a true crime YouTuber by the name of Zavgirl. And I really hate saying this woman's name, if we can even call her a woman. I really hate saying this disgusting creature's name because I do not want to get her any more clout. But for those of you all who don't know, this YouTuber by the name of Zavgirl decided that she needed some money. And to get this money, she decided, I'm going to sell autopsy photos of an 11-year-old boy. I'm going to sell pictures of an 11-year-old boy's dead, naked body in order to make a profit. You know, it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. And fortunately, it was so disgusting that people are coming together. I'm seeing people who can't agree on anything, they're coming together. Finally. Because everyone agrees that this woman, Zavgirl, is one of the most disgusting human beings on earth. She took it upon herself to sell photos of a deceased child. She's charging people $3 on Patreon to come look at photos and videos of a deceased child. But you know, I warned people about this woman over a year ago, and most people did not want to hear it. Most people did not want to believe what I was saying, and now they had to find out the hard way, as people often do. You know, while we're on this topic, and everyone is talking about the photos of Gannon, who Zavgirl decided to sell, I think it's important to note that this is not her first offense. I want people to fully understand that this is not a simple one-off mistake that Zavgirl made. No. Zavgirl has constantly, over the years, done disgusting things, and for the most part, people weren't calling it out. In fact, a lot of people supported it. Now, I would never watch Zavgirl's content. You could not pay me to watch this dry-ass woman stare at her computer screen. But for some reason, people seem to enjoy it. Why? Because Zavgirl likes to platform the rumors, the hurtful rumors that spread during true crime cases. You see, I covered the Kylie Rodney case a while back. And Zavgirl, unfortunately, was covering that case as well. And during that case, Zavgirl helped spread rumors that this Kylie Rodney girl didn't even exist. A mother was frantically looking for her child that we now know drowned in her own vehicle. A mother was frantically looking for her child, and Zav Girl was helping to spread rumors that the child didn't even exist, that it was all a lie. Zav Girl was harassing the family and friends of this missing child who we now know died. Zav Girl was harassing the friends, she was harassing the family, and she was harassing other YouTubers, and she was platforming other content creators, other YouTubers, and even a methed out country singer. She was platforming these people and helping them and aiding them and spreading rumors and lies about a deceased child back then. And now people are surprised that she's selling photos of a dead child. What did you think was going to happen? When people didn't call her out back then, you empowered her to do what she did recently. I don't want to be mean here, but I'm going to be honest. I see a lot of people who are calling out Zav Girl over the last couple of days who are very much guilty themselves of doing a lot of disgusting things. Don't think I don't see you. You maybe didn't stoop to the level of Zav Girl. I don't think anyone could get as disgusting as what she did. But I see y'all. A lot of y'all calling Zav Girl out. Y'all were right there with her spreading those rumors about Kylie Rodney. Y'all were right there with her doing all of that gross stuff. And y'all have done a lot of gross stuff involving true crime cases in the past. So don't think that people don't notice. But yes, Zav Girl was instrumental in spreading rumors that this girl didn't exist. She even helped harass YouTubers because they concocted this crazy story that YouTubers must have killed Kylie Rodney. Because you see, there were some YouTubers that were doing a great job covering the case. And people like Zav Girl, they can't do a good job covering cases. They're too idiotic. They're too stupid. So what they do is they like to spread rumors and then they target those who are doing a good job. So they took some guy named Ikadmel and they basically tried to place all of this crazy stuff on him because he was doing a good job covering the case and they couldn't keep up. Zav Girl was right there doing that stuff. Blaming a YouTuber for killing someone. A YouTuber that didn't have anything to do with it at all. But Zav Girl platformed those rumors. Zav Girl sat there and laughed and acted confused as people were getting their life threatened, as people were getting harassed, and all of that good stuff, including myself. Including myself. At one point, people started saying I was in on it simply because I defended a YouTuber who they targeted with harassment. And you know what the true crime community did? For the most part, there were a few, like the Glairer and people like that. Shout out to him. There were a few people who called it out. But for the most part, the true crime community sat back and watched. They sat back and watched as Zav Girl and her little minions and that meth-smoking country singer, they sat back and allowed them to do all of this crazy stuff, and they were either scared to say something or they wanted those rumors to run wild because it got them more views. They platformed those rumors as well. So when we're sitting here discussing Zav Girl, which is a horrible person for sure, I'm looking at all of you all because a lot of you all were in on all of this bullshit as well. Point blank period. You can sit here and act holier than thou now, but y'all had a lot to do with a lot of the weird stuff that goes on in the true crime community, and y'all sat back. Some of y'all supported it, and by not saying anything, y'all are complicit, in my opinion. So I want to put that out there. But I just want people to know that this isn't Zav Girl's first rodeo. She didn't wake up and make an honest mistake. Zav Girl is a disgusting piece of shit that often does stuff like this. You know, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, every few cases, she does something absolutely vile and disgusting, and now karma is coming for her. But like I said, she did something so bad this time in selling the pictures of this deceased naked kid online. She did something so bad that people are coming together. And not only am I and other people like Nerd Report calling this out, but the mainstream media got wind. And listen, me and the mainstream media, we don't necessarily get along. But there are a few reporters out there who I respect. Brian Entin is one of them. And boy, oh boy, Brian Entin just roasted the hell out of Zav Girl, and I am here for it. You know, I could sit here and talk all day. I want you all to watch what Brian Entin has to say. Hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to roll this clip, and then I'm going to be back with more thoughts.
It was something that just has me really, really upset. And I don't usually stay mad about things, but this is one of those things that I can just still sort of feel myself fuming over. Normally, I'm even-tempered. You kind of have to be when you cover crimes the way I do. But I've always been very, very sensitive when it comes to grieving families. And when people hurt victims' families, especially people with big platforms, to make money, it just really, really gets me. You may remember the story of Gannon Stauch, the Colorado 11-year-old was stabbed 18 times by his stepmother. He was hit in the head, he was shot, and then he was stuffed in a suitcase and left under a bridge in Florida. It was an awful, awful story. You see that little face there. Well, his stepmother, Letitia Stauch, was convicted in May of killing the little boy. The judge said it was the most horrific case that he had ever seen in his entire career. Little Gannon's bedroom, just to give you an idea how bad this was, had blood all over the walls, a blood-soaked mattress, the carpet was soaked, even the concrete under the bed was blood-stained. So to say that this was a brutal killing would really just be an understatement. The trial got a lot of coverage, especially from true crime YouTubers, and I gotta say, I know a lot of the podcasters out there. Most of them are really, really responsible. They're good people. I'm friends with a bunch. I was just texting with a buddy a little while ago, a YouTuber. They're ethical, they're victim-focused, but you know how it is. There are always bad apples in the group. Really, really bad apples who cross the line and exploit families, grieving families, to make money. I never even heard of this one YouTuber there, Zav Girl, until a bunch of you started messaging me last night. She calls her YouTube page a true crime channel and writes in the description, "I feel it's really important to give victims of these tragic crimes a voice when they don't have one." And she has almost 100,000 subscribers. But for some reason, Zav Girl thought it would be a good idea to put in a Freedom of Information request for little 11-year-old Gannon's autopsy photos. And they actually released the photos to her. She had to pay. They released the photos, and she got them. And you can just imagine, based on the description of the way that little boy was killed, what those photos looked like. Zav Girl then proceeded to post them on her Patreon account, which is an account attached to her YouTube page, and she charged her followers money to see the autopsy photos. For $3, you could see little Gannon's body. She was making money off of that little boy's autopsy photos. Autopsy photos of a severely beaten to death little boy. Really, they just got no place on the internet. It was hard enough for the jury to have to look at them. But for this YouTuber to go to all that trouble to request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people to see them. I mean, I just find it sick. And I question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my issue with some of these YouTubers that cause problems. They hide behind their computers. They don't even use their real names. Like in this case, we don't even know who Zav Girl really is. And if you're so proud of your page, I don't know why people don't just use their real name. And this isn't some video game or TV show you're playing on your computer. This is a real family's life. This morning, Zav Girl, she got a lot of heat for this. She posted a statement on her YouTube page about the controversy. It was deleted. It's back up now. I screen grabbed it. This is part of it. She wrote, "The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people are genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people like myself think of autopsy photos and the coroner discussing, explaining, interesting, and informative, are all able to view it in a more scientific, detached way." Well, Zav Girl, there is nothing detached about posting the autopsy photos of an 11-year-old little boy and then, on top of it, which I really think pushes it over the line, charging money for people to see them. It is sick, it's deranged, and you should just own up to it. Whoever you are, wherever you live, maybe get out from behind your computer screen, go to the local courthouse, and actually sit through a murder trial and see what it's like for the families in real life. Not on YouTube, not sitting behind your computer and thinking about clicks, but actually go to the courthouse and see what these families actually have to deal with. And think about how it might feel for them after having to see those photos in the courtroom to then have them plastered all over the internet and then be trying to charge people money to view them so you can get rich off of it. It's just awful. I want to bring in District Attorney Michael Allen, who served as the lead prosecutor on little Gannon's case. Thank you for being with us, Michael. You were the lead prosecutor. You had to go through that whole trial. I can't even imagine, like, this just got me so mad thinking about Gannon's family. I know they're aware of this. I mean, how are they processing all of this?
Well, thanks for having me on to talk about this. First off, we reached out to the family members and had discussions with them about this, just letting them know that, one, it's happening and sort of what they can do potentially to combat this. But honestly, there's nothing they can do to get these photos down once they're on the internet. It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, I mean, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. And there's nothing about what this YouTuber is doing, and I think there's another one out there as well, that they're doing that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon. And the statement that they put out about this incident, sort of justifying it, it just rings hollow. Other ways to do this. Scientifically, they could have used body diagrams that the autopsy also included, instead of putting the actual pictures of Gannon's just completely broken body that reflects the depravity and horror that he had to live through and die at the hands of his stepmother, that he had to suffer. It's outright disgusting. And it just speaks to the lowest of human forms, in my opinion.
And there was a live stream of the trial, correct? And these were specifically blocked from going out to the public. And the same thing, I covered the Lori Vallow trial. Those pictures were also blocked so that, you know, they couldn't get out. I just wonder, like, why were these released? I mean, apparently this YouTuber had to pay quite a bit of money to get the photos. Why even send them out?
Yeah, so it's state by state how that sort of thing works. The autopsy was actually performed in Florida, and Florida law allows these sort of things to go out under a Freedom of Information Act request. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that these sort of sensitive photos have to be released. And you're right. When we were in trial, we actually put blocked part of the images out to hide some of the more sensitive parts of Gannon's body and to really show the jury just the injuries, as opposed to sort of making a spectacle of the whole situation, which we did not want to do. That's disrespectful to the family. And again, like I said, takes away the dignity that Gannon deserved in life and in death.
And you mentioned that there are others too. It's not just this one YouTuber. Is there anything that can be done now, Michael, that you can do or that the family can do to sort of get these off the internet, especially stop people from making money off of them?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the most disgusting part of this too, that they're actually profiting off of somebody else's complete horror? I can't imagine what the family feels deep down inside over this whole thing. There's really not anything that can be done legally. I have suggested that the family reach out to a private attorney to see if there's anything they can do. As far as jurisdiction from my office or from the Colorado courts, I don't think that there's anything that they can do either, unfortunately. And maybe we need to look at changing the law as it relates to autopsy photos being released on the internet, that sort of.
You know, I love to see it. I hate that this had to happen. I hate what Zav Girl did. But I love seeing the internet come together. I like seeing that even someone like Brian Entin took it upon himself to raise awareness about what happened here. Because this needs to happen more often. You know, I don't tell people how to cover a case. I think there's things that you do and there's things that you don't do. We all obviously know that it's wrong to sell photos, autopsy photos of an 11-year-old boy. Anyone with a moral compass knows that. Even someone as stupid and idiotic and ugly as Zav Girl, she knows that. She knows it was wrong. You know what I mean? But that doesn't matter to these people. What matters is the shock value. these people don't care if they get hate watches. They just want the clicks. Because I would have to believe that most people who tune into Zav Girl don't tune in because they like what they're seeing. I don't see how anyone could be entertained by that dry-ass face sitting there looking confused 24/7. But I agree with everything Brian Entin said. I'm glad that it's starting to get more mainstream attention. You know, I'm glad that people are starting to take note of some of the stuff that's going on in the true crime community. Like I've said so many times, I've tried to distance myself from the true crime community because I don't want my name and my reputation wrapped up in all of that wild stuff these people continuously do. And it's not all of them. There are some great true crime creators. There are great people within the community who watch the videos who are some of the best people you will ever meet. But there's a lot of downright scummy, evil people. And unfortunately, for the most part, the good creators are unwilling to call these scummy people out because on the low, I'm just going to put it like it is, a lot of these good creators, they kind of profit off the stuff that these scummy people do. You know, they like to sit back and not say anything because the rumors and the speculation, it's good for views and clicks. I've watched a lot of respectful YouTubers sit here and platform some of the rumors that were going on during the Kylie Rodney case. And that's something I will never forget. That's something that I will never forgive. And I'm constantly reminded of it every day. I still to this day get weird messages from people who think that I was in on something weird because of Zav Girl and because of other people who Zav Girl chose to give a platform to. That's why I was talking in the beginning of this video. I don't want anyone to forget that this is not the first thing that Zav Girl has done. This is just one of a long list of crazy, grotesque things that this woman has done over the course of her YouTube career. Unfortunately, a lot of people supported it. During the Kylie Rodney case, a lot of people who are calling out this stuff now, they supported all of that BS. And look where we're at now. Look where we're at now. So, I am calling on other true crime content creators. I am calling on y'all to start calling this stuff out. Because it's not my job to come in here and put people in check all the time. That's not my job. But y'all like to sit back and say nothing. Because you see what happens here? When you have these clashes, it's never really good for a content creator. When I call out another content creator, it's never good for my channel. You lose subs, some people get mad. That's just how it is. Now, personally, I don't care. You all know that I'm going to be myself and I'm going to share my opinions. If you like it, then great. If you don't like it, that's cool too. I'm not going to sit here and kiss ass or shy away from the truth in order to not lose subs. However, these bigger content creators are just like that. It's not that they don't participate in drama, because best believe they're participating in drama in the group chats and in the inboxes. Better believe all of these big content creators, they're wrapped up in the drama as well. They don't put it on their channel because they're afraid to lose subs. And they want those rumors still out there so they can play upon them and get more views. I'm calling on all of these people to start calling this stuff out. You can't sit there and pretend that this stuff isn't happening anymore. You can't. I'm tired of it. And I didn't even cover Gannon's case. I don't even know much about this case. But I'm willing to use my platform to raise awareness about this grotesque, evil thing that Zav Girl did. Meanwhile, people who actually covered the case and the trial, they act like they're scared to speak out against it. Why? Because they don't want to lose those subs. They don't want to lose those clicks. Well, if you're that type of person, just believe this. All of this stuff is going to come full circle. You know, when Zav Girl and all of these weirdos during the Kylie Rodney case, when they started their nonsense and they were targeting true crime creators such as myself, I don't believe I'm a true crime creator, but they were targeting me, Zanime, Ikidmel. I told Ikidmel, and you could ask him, I told him that all of this is going to come full circle. All of it's going to come full circle eventually. And what has happened since then? I want you to look at the world. You think karma isn't real? Everyone that did nonsense during the Kylie Rodney case, take a step back and look at what happened. AWP, Jared, dude got exposed for R-wording his own cousin. Dude's dealing with a case right now where he R-worded his own cousin. We've covered it. Karma came back and bit him on the ass really quickly. The meth head country singer, he's at odds with his mom now. Mom's buying houses and crap. It's funny. I hate him, and I think it's hilarious. And then we have Zav Girl. So like I said, people, if you learn anything from all of this, understand that life comes full circle, and it will come at you hard, and you don't know when it's going to come. Karma's real. You better start acting like it. Act accordingly. And for those of you all who participated in this nonsense, and for those of you all who sat silently by and profited off of it while acting like you were scared to say anything, while pretending that you don't involve yourself in drama, yeah, it's all going to come full circle. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. But with that being said, I think that people should use this moment, more specifically, the true crime community as a whole should use this moment to take a step back and reevaluate just this whole entire ordeal. Reevaluate how you approach certain cases and the lengths you go. I think a lot of true crime YouTubers need to look in the mirror and realize that they are not an investigator, that they are not a lawyer, and that sometimes there are documents and certain things that maybe they just don't need to worry about. Maybe they don't need to be spreading certain stuff online. You know, I really do think that some people need to have a little more self-awareness and realize that, yeah, you know, there's a certain approach. Covering a story is great. You know, raising awareness about a story is great. Following up with certain things, I don't think there's anything wrong with true crime per se, but I have noticed that a lot of people, it seems like they try to get just a little too close and they go a little too far. And there's some things that should just be left in the courthouse. You know, I do strongly believe that. A lot of these documents that people are getting and stuff, at the end of the day, I understand it's interesting and maybe you want to go over certain things for your subs, but I think sometimes people just need to chill out and realize you're a YouTuber at the end of the day. There's some information that I'm sure that you find interesting and your subs may find interesting, but you don't necessarily need to have it. Hopefully some laws can change so people like disgusting creatures like Zav Girl aren't able to go get pictures of a dead kid's body and sell them online. Hopefully something is done about that so this doesn't happen again, because make no mistake about it, it will happen again. It's only a matter of time. And, you know, these weirdos are already concocting their next plan. What are they going to do next for attention? And that's why I really don't even like mentioning these people's names that much anymore. But I'm glad Brian Entin called it out. We're going to go over some other stuff about this situation in a future video. So hit the sub, hit that notification bell, hit the thumbs up button. And, you know, when there's all this negativity that's being spread, the only way to counteract that is to go out here and spread some positivity. So make sure that you spread some positivity out there in the world today. And I will talk to you all in the next video.